Good morning, everybody, and welcome to today's severe weather update. So, the Storm Prediction Center has issued an enhanced risk of severe weather today across central eastern Tennessee, central eastern Kentucky, northeastern Alabama, and northwestern Georgia in orange. And this includes Chattanooga, Tennessee, Nashville, Tennessee, Bowling Green, Kentucky, Louisville, Kentucky, and even Cincinnati, Ohio. We have a large slight risk of severe weather today in the yellow, and an even larger marginal risk in the dark green. Looking at today's tornado threat, we have a narrow corridor that has a 10% chance of seeing tornadoes within 25 miles of a location in this yellow area, and this area is hatched, which means some of these tornadoes could be EF2 or stronger, and this includes cities like Nashville, Tennessee, Bowling Green, Kentucky, and bordering on Louisville, Kentucky. We have a 5% tornado risk in the Brown area today, including Jackson, Tennessee, bordering on Birmingham, Alabama, into Chattanooga, Tennessee, into Cincinnati, Ohio, and to Evansville, Indiana, and a 2% tornado risk in the Green area today. So, especially if you live in the yellow, even brown area, today's event has a very high ceiling, which means that the atmospheric parameters are extremely high for this area. So make sure you're really paying attention to the weather if you live in the yellow and brown area for tornadoes, because we could be seeing anywhere from a few to several tornadoes in the yellow and brown area today, and a few or a couple to several strong tornadoes, all depending on the storm mode. We have a 30% chance of damaging straight line winds of 58 miles per hour stronger within 25 miles of a location in the red shade area today across eastern central Tennessee, eastern central Kentucky, and northeast Alabama, southeastern or northwestern Georgia, and also far southeastern Indiana, far southwestern Ohio in the red. And we have a large hatched area, meaning that there is a 10% chance that some of these wind gusts could be 75 miles per hour stronger or hurricane force. So we also have a very big damaging wind threat across this area. And once again, there's going to be a whole lot of wind in the upper levels of the atmosphere. Even just moderately to moderate strength storms is going to bring these winds down to the surface. So very dangerous, damaging wind threat today as well. 15% risk in the yellow, 5% risk in the brown. And looking at the hail threat today, the hail threat thankfully is going to be very, very minimal. We only have a 5% chance of seeing quarter-size hail or larger within 25 miles of a location in the small brown area. Now, taking a look at the HRRR model to time the storms out, we have very heavy rain ongoing across much of northern Kentucky, southern Indiana, southeastern Illinois, western Tennessee as of 9 a.m. Central Standard Time this morning. Going into 10 and 11, we're going to start to see some intense storms potentially break out across west central Tennessee, Kentucky, and northwestern Alabama. Going into noon, these storms are going to likely intensify from areas like Birmingham through Huntsville, through Nashville, into south central Kentucky. And then going into 1, this is where we could really start to see tornado danger, is from noon to 1, where these storms are starting to take some of these kidney bean shapes. This is representing the high ceiling we have today because of the extreme wind shear in the area. If we can get several of these storms to mature and rotate, we could be looking at a big, dangerous tornado potential across central eastern Tennessee, central eastern Kentucky, and northeastern Alabama, northwest Georgia, if the storms get far enough south. Going into 3 o'clock Central Standard Time, several supercells are possible within a broken line from central northern Kentucky through east central Tennessee and northwestern Georgia. Going into 4 o'clock, this continues across eastern Kentucky, eastern Tennessee, north of Atlanta. We're seeing a couple of supercells north of Atlanta. And this is the area, unfortunately, where the kinematics are going to be maxed out. It's going to be northwest Georgia, northeast Alabama, southeast Tennessee, as I'm about to show you. We could even be getting some supercells into southeast Indiana, southwestern Ohio by 4 o'clock, 5 and 6 o'clock. Supercells possibly moving into western North Carolina, southwest Virginia, southwestern West Virginia, southeastern Ohio. And then even to 7 and 8 o'clock, we could be getting storms with strong winds across southern Virginia, northern North Carolina, maybe even into Charlotte, North Carolina. And the storms will gradually weaken as we go into this evening across central North Carolina and south central Virginia. Now I mentioned that the parameters are very high, and there's a very high ceiling on today's tornado threat. So let's take a look at the significant tornado parameter to show what I'm talking about. And as of 10 a.m., we're going to be seeing very high significant tornado parameters between 5 and 8 across much of western northwest Alabama, northeast Mississippi, south central Tennessee. And going into noon, watch these extremely high values across central northeastern Alabama, central southern Tennessee, even some into southwest Kentucky. We're seeing significant tornado parameter values between 7 and even 10, which are extreme parameters for significant tornado parameter. And a significant tornado parameter is basically a composite of all the ingredients in the atmosphere favorable for tornadoes. And these are extremely high values across northeastern Alabama. As I said, if we can get some storms to mature across northeast Alabama, south central Tennessee, northwestern Georgia, there could be some huge destructive tornadoes going into 1, 2 o'clock. Look at this. Across northeast Alabama, northwest Georgia, we're seeing significant tornado parameters of 8, 9, 10, even some above 11 in northwest Georgia. And then going into 6 o'clock, northeast Georgia, northwest South Carolina, between 7 and 10 on the significant tornado parameter. And the kinematics will finally die down by tomorrow evening. So this has the potential to be a very dangerous day across Tennessee, Kentucky, northern Alabama, and northwest Georgia. So make sure you're really paying attention to the weather if you live in these areas today. Thanks for watching today's severe weather update. Have a wonderful day, my friends.